Hello and welcome to this episode of Drinking with Dave. So on this episode I am drinking Guinness Black Lager. Now, I had to go to Northern Ireland to get this because they're not selling it in the Republic at the moment. They're also selling it in the United States and possibly Canada, I'm not sure. I'll just go ahead and read you the back here. It says Guinness Black Lager is cold brewed with roasted barley to deliver a unique character and a deeply refreshing taste. Enjoy ice cold straight from the bottle. No, lager evolved. So it's got some pretty pretentious stuff on the bottle here. It's 4.5%. It comes in these 330ml bottles, which is about 12 ounces, I think, in the American money. But yeah, they're not selling it here at the moment. So I saw it in Northern Ireland and I thought I'd grab some. So here we are for the taste test. Anyway, well, Hello to Light is incredibly dark. I mean, possibly even more so. I mean, there's occasional hints of red, but it's even darker than Guinness, I'd say. Very reddy brown, like all other instances, just completely black. It says enjoy straight from the bottle, and I imagine it's because they don't really want you to smell it, and they want to go for that bottle market. Well, people who just drink beer out of the bottle, like Budweiser kind of people. But I don't know that they're going to win over many with this, but we'll give it a fair shot anyway. So, on to the smell test. Can't get much smell off it, and that's probably because it's supposed to be drank from the bottle, but you can get some roasted barley notes. The carbonation is pretty good, but the head doesn't leave much lacing, even though it does kind of stick around. You can see it there a little bit. It just smells roasty. It doesn't smell much like coffee though, it just smells kind of bitter. I know it can't really smell bitter, but you know what I'm on about. It smells like a bitter beer. Anyway, since we don't have much on the smell, let's move on to the taste. Yeah, just has that carbony roasty thing. It is definitely much more carbonated than a Guinness Draft, though slightly less carbonated than an extra stout. It's much milder in terms of the bitterness you get with Guinness. It's much less bitter than the Draft and substantially less bitter than the extra stout. I know I'm comparing it to those, but that, you know, those are the main Guinness products, you know. I wonder how much of this is marketing as opposed to wanting to make a black lager. In Ireland, about 60% of the beer sold is lager, and then 30% or so is stout, and then the remaining 2 to 5%, whatever it is ale. So it's pretty locked up in terms of Guinness. But if they want to get into the lager market, but they still want to keep the Guinness people, this would probably be a good way to do it. But the taste itself is not very good. You mostly get that carbon, and the head's all gone here, by the way. It fizzes up like Coke, so it puts quite a big fizz back on it and quite a head, but that'll be gone fairly soon. I mean, there's not much of a hot presence to keep that hanging around. It does actually taste quite a lot like cola. Very carbonated on the mouthfeel. There's no smoothness or creaminess like with a draft. So it is much like a lager, but it doesn't taste much like a lager. It doesn't have those lagery kind of hops, or the Polish kind of hops you get in Polish beer, or Polish pale lagers. You know, it doesn't have those lagery hops to it. Most of the taste is just being carried by the bitterness. There aren't many more flavors in this. I mean, they say drink it ice cold and drink it out of the bottle. They don't really want you to taste it that much. It just kind of tastes a bit like licorice and a bit like the burnt carbon you get on toast and those kinds of things. But it's fairly insubstantial, I think. The question is, who is this beer for? Because I think craft brewers wouldn't be that interested in this. And I think that Guinness aficionados would probably not be very interested in this either. So who is this beer for? And I don't think the lager crowd is going to drink this either, because I don't think that I'd replace my lager with this. I quite like lager. And I quite like Guinness, but this kind of falls into a no man's land for me. It doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, the flavor is quite nice on its own. I mean, just having something that's as simple as this. I mean, I think that's probably what they were going for, but I mean, it's simple, this beer. It's not particularly complicated. It's not got a lot of outstanding aromas or flavors. It's just kind of a workaday beer, I think. I think nothing spectacular is to be expected from this beer. Like if you were to have a Guinness foreign extra stout, you might expect something, you know, a little bit above or a lot above normal, depending on what your normal is. But this is pretty average. It's not really crazy good, but there's not much I can take away from it. The only way that I can really deduct points for this beer is the fact that it's kind of bland. But there are a lot of bland beers out there, but you know, I think that we can do better than this, you know. I think the Guinness can do better than this. Anyway, this has been a bit of a short review on this episode, but happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Hopefully this episode will be going up on St. Patrick's Day. So if you're out there drinking today, happy St. Patrick's Day, and don't drink and drive. And I'll see you on the next episode of Drinkin' with Dave.